Hello everybody and welcome to another close-up video here on the Media Files. So this time around, I thought maybe we would take a look at one of my favorite TV shows of all time from my childhood. And not only that though, they just put out on Netflix an anniversary special for this series. What am I talking about? Well, I'm of course talking about my favorite TV show when I was a kid, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the complete series here on the Media Files. Welcome back. This series was awesome. It was back in 1993. Fox Kids was promoting this new show that they had going on. And, sorry, I bumped the camera there. At the time I was having fun watching Batman the Animated Series, and this started promoting stuff, and I'm like, what's this show all about? We have colored costumes, they do martial arts, that's different, they take on monsters, okay. I kind of remember a similar show like that. I believe it was called, what was the name of it? It was VR Troopers at the time, and I'm like, that looks kind of familiar, but then it dawned on me that VR Troopers came out after this, obviously. Or kind of around the same time. But yeah, so now this box set here is literally the complete series of the first 3 seasons of the original show that has all the original Rangers. Based on the TV series entitled, I can't remember what the Japanese series. It's based off of Zero Ranger. And that's literally what the majority of this stuff is. All the fight footage is from that show. And then they decided, hey, let's just shoot American footage for all the kids. But what can I say, though? I mean, this show, if it wasn't for this show, it would not be on, 30 years later. Because Netflix literally just put out a special hour-long episode regarding to the legacy of these original characters. And not only that, though, what can I say? I mean, we got a lot to go through in this set, so let's get going. So, we'll move Star Trek down here. So, within this box set, your typical flimsy box as usual. Now, there is actually another box set that actually has everything that's been released up to a certain point, which I don't have, obviously, because, that's all I could really find, because I don't want to buy them all by volumes. I'd much rather have them all in one little box. Makes things easier. So, first up, we have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the complete first season. Now, the only way to get this as a all-together is to buy it exclusively with this set. So, with season 1, you would have a bunch of them were split up into 2 volumes. So you have volume discs 1 through 3, was season 1, volume 1, and then discs 4 through 6 was Power Rangers season 1, volume 2. But what's cool about it is that if you remove the discs here, is that it lists every single episode on each of the discs. And not only that, though, what can I say? If it wasn't for this show, I probably would not have even heard about it or thought it was really dumb and stupid. But what can I say? It caught my attention, like every kid in the 90s, and I've pretty much loved this series ever since. And as many guys did back in the day, they had their hots for the Pink Ranger. Yep, I still do. But not only that, though, if it wasn't for the first season, also, you had the 5 original Rangers with Zach, Trini, Jason, Kimberly, and Billy. Then, roughly about 15 episodes later, we get introduced to the baddest ass Ranger of all time, Tommy, the Green Ranger. Now, what's really interesting about watching this show and then watching the Japanese version is that the Green Ranger actually doesn't show up until a lot later in the series. And he is actually the Red Ranger's brother in the original series, and that's why you have that fight scene out there on the beach towards the end of it. But not only that, though, there's actually some stuff in here I really wish that they had expanded on when it came to the fight scene, because there is some differences between the Japanese show and this show. The fight scenes are kind of edited down, watered down for kids, but there's actually a few scenes in the Japanese version that makes it even better. So, yeah, so with this first season set, you have the first 60 episodes. Yeah, 60 episodes. And, we're just getting started here. Are you going to stay? Yep, you're going to stay. So, up next, with the success of that, they developed a second season. Yeah. And so once again, everything is everything is pretty much about the same. The only thing that changes really is the disc art for each of the individual volumes. So like I said, every single season that's been released for a specific, especially if they had multiple episodes, they would be released as Volume 1 and Volume 2. So Season 2, Volume 1 for disc 1 through 3. Season 2, Volume 1 for 4 through 6. And every one of those would have like a different ranger on the front of them and stuff like that, or different artwork and what have you, which... and then one thing I forgot to mention was that on the first season, there actually is they have all 5 episodes of the Green with Evil series, and they actually released all those as one individual DVD, I think they edited it together to make it like one seamless 2.5 hour movie, which is actually kind of cool. So here we are, we have the second season with basically everybody, but there are some changes. We have, instead of Zach, we now have Adam, we have Kimberly, and then eventually Catherine would take over. Then we have Aisha, Jason, and then he would become Rocky. Billy would stay, and Tommy. Now, Tommy goes from the Green Ranger to the White Ranger because he loses his powers and stuff like that. If you have not seen the show, I spoil it for you. I don't care. That's just what happens. But the White Ranger in the original series was actually not part of Power Rangers. He was actually in a completely different series with different Rangers. So what they did was that they had to come up with the way to keep these Rangers the same, but add in the White Ranger. They just used very interesting editing techniques, and they actually created a lot of original footage with the costumes, and you can tell, the differences in the actors, because when you see the original Japanese footage, a lot of the costumes are kind of glossy and stretchy and whatnot, whereas in the American version, you can tell they're very cloth-like. You can tell a difference, especially when it comes to the neck pieces. You can kind of tell it's a little off, But overall, but not only that, though, we have a new villain. Yeah, Rita Repulsa was the villain of the first series. So, we were like, sweet, we got a new villain coming in. Yep, and it was a character made exclusively for the American version, Lord Zed. And you cannot tell at all that he was actually made for this series, because it looked like he was just shot, for the original series from Japan. And it's kind of interesting of how they were able to re-edit a lot of stuff and make it kind of branch seamlessly together. So up next we have season 3. Yeah, so this time around we have Adam, Rocky, Kimberly, Aisha, and Billy and Tommy all stay around. I had mentioned that Kimberly goes to Catherine. That doesn't happen until season 3. I screwed that up. It's been a while since I've seen this show, but I recognize certain points. But anyways, so yeah. Now that, though, we would get introduced to some brand new characters, including the character of Ninjor, which is why they're in these specific costumes. But also around that time, this show got so popular that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, was made, and they kind of, they did that first, and then they kind of had to figure out, well, we kind of already did that, but how do we do it again? they just kind of did a little bit of a spinoff, changed a few things around and whatnot. And, the character of Dulcia from the movie went to Ninjor, and Ninjor is actually a completely different character from yet another Japanese series. But this time around, though, there is only 4 discs versus the other 2 sets are only 3. Oh, well, the disc came out. Hang on a second. Let's put that disc back in there, shall we? We'll just kind of hold it there because I think one of the clips doesn't want to hold it very well. So, yep. So only 4 discs this time around. And not only that, though, you got Rita and Zed. They get married in this series, and not only that, though, they get brand new Zords. Yeah. So we went from the original Megazord to the Thunder Megazord. That's one thing I forgot to mention. Megazord, Thunder Megazord, now to the Ninja Megazord. Yeah. Once again, we have different Zords from different series still being meshed together. But what can I say, though? It's still, some of the cheesiness is awesome still to this day. But, what can I say? It's it got pretty good. It started getting, I don't know what it was, but it seems like whenever a season would get done, kind of around the middle, they would keep kind of the stuff for the middle, and then they would save, obviously, as the phrase goes, save the best for last. We had no idea what would happen after a lot of the actors decided that they wanted to move on to other things. So they decided, well, we need to do something here. And we actually have a slightly spinoff series entitled Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers. Yeah, now these are completely different Rangers from a different series where basically what happens is that the adults transform into kids. And obviously kids can't fight, Rita and Zed, and they lose all their powers and stuff. So what do? So they have to go and find the Zeo Crystal to, regain their powers and stuff like that. And so this short-lived miniseries only lasted 10 episodes because that's all there was as far as the footage goes. But these Rangers are actually from a completely different series. And I only have 2 different seasons of the original Super Sentai series. I have Zero Ranger, and I believe I have I believe it's a Deku Ranger or Deki Ranger, I believe. I can't remember which one it is. So you have literally all of the episodes on one disc. However, though, one thing that is exclusive to this set, 2 discs full of bonus features. Yeah, something that us Power Ranger fans have been geeking out about and wanting to know forever. How did this show ever get made? So, it's not mentioned on the back, but it's on the opening flap here, so let's see what we have. So we have Morphin Time, a look back at Mighty Morphin Power Rangers with interviews featuring members of the cast and creative team. A more phenomenal cast, casting director Katie Wallen, and the cast recall what it took to become Power Rangers. Lord Zed's Monster Heads, Alpha's Magical Christmas, The Good, the Bad, and the Stupid. I believe those are like Halloween and Christmas special episodes, I believe. And then for disc 2, we have it's kind of hard to see with the disc thing there. We have the Fans Power Up. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fans remember the series, as well as the rare Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fan club video. Yes, there was a fan club because of this show. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Karate Club, the White Ranger Kata, which features Jason David Frank, because he was not only was he an actor, but he also was a karate master, as well as master of the martial arts, and he actually ran his own dojos. And also, this thing is so cool. They actually have on here the Power Rangers Live, the World Tour. That thing was so cool. I remember going to see that with my cousin, and it was a show it was a road show where they basically made, the show they would basically try to make, this Power Rangers TV show, but on stage, and they created an original villain for it. I think it's some sort of like Fire Lion, or from what, if memory serves me right, you can find it on YouTube. I don't know. I actually haven't really looked at this. I don't know if it's the full thing or if it's just a featurette on it or whatnot. But I'm sure you can find the Power Rangers World Tour thing on YouTube somewhere. If I find it, I'll post a link in the description below. So yeah, that literally completes what is all in this awesome set. Now, if you can find this set, get it, because fix the glare here. That it is out of print. Yeah, it's out of print. It's very hard to find, and especially the two individual box sets, which go from Mighty Morphin all the way up to here, I believe it goes all the way up to Mystic Force. It's one of the much later ones. There's I think 15 or 20, or there's 10 or 15 different seasons in that set. Now, granted, some of them in that big Uber box set, some of them is just one case, but it's the entire complete series. For example, I have Time Force, and that's just a complete series in one case, because there's no bonus features. It's just the episodes. So yeah, with that, what can I say? May Tommy the Green Ranger, may him ever rest in peace. It's unfortunate what he did with his, what happened to him. It sucks that he literally had to do, what he did. But, if it wasn't for him, obviously none of us, Power Ranger fans would even know who this actor was. And sure enough, Power Rangers would not be the same. It'll never be the same without him. So it sucks that, once word got passed that he had, crossed over into, where he left this world for, by doing something, specific, which I will not mention on YouTube because I know they hate it. But you could just look it up. But, what can I say? Like I said, Power Rangers, it was never the same after, he left. And, sure, he was the only Ranger that went on to be in multiple Power Rangers seasons besides Mighty Morphin. But, not only that, though, I was real excited because I thought that they were going to do, an internet exclusive special with him, where Tommy basically, it's a version of him, but it's where he basically conquers, the universe, basically, as Lord Draken. That would have been cool to watch. I know that there's that preview or that small trailer that's out there, but, I really can't wait to watch his final performance in The Legend of the White Dragon, from Aaron Shanka, I believe is how you pronounce his name. He's done from Bat in the Sun Productions. I can't wait to watch that. So with that, may the power be with you all. May the power protect you. And not only that, though, just take care of yourself and enjoy some classic stuff. Pass this down to the next generation. And I'll see you later.